Ooh, you know how I get when I listen to that song. Electric Guest right there with This Head I Hold. Their hits off of their album Mondo, track number 2, if I'm not mistaken, right there, released in 2012. They have a new CD out, and I apologize, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And that's embarrassing to say because it's been out for over a month now, and I loved their first album, but I don't believe Danger Mouse has anything to do with this new album here. So I've been refraining from it just a little bit, but that's no excuse, and I apologize for that. Nonetheless, we do have new music tonight. I want to tease that for you at the very least. That's right, the latest from Smokey Joe and the Kid, and we are breaking that out later tonight. I can't wait, and I know you can't either. But first, we have a couple of topics to, we have to get through this and that sort of thing. Local news as well as American news, because shit still gets crazy out there, and, well, I have to talk about it until it is, I don't know, resolved in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how that's going to happen, but, you know, have you noticed that the EPA is under construction right now, by any chance? I'm talking about here in Cincinnati, we got the EPA building in their parking lot, one that is, you know, passage for many, many students in order to get to class. It is now gated up, it is now blocked off, fenced off, and now we can't get through. We have to go the runaround right there. A detour, it's disgusting. No, seriously, they completely wrecked the car park right there, uprooted a whole bunch of trees and a bunch of lamps, and they just left this huge pile, which I imagine is going to get cleaned up eventually, but frankly, I can't help but think that it may have some correlation to do with Trump's idea about the EPA and, you know, not getting any funding and then dumping coal in the rivers. You know, it's important that the car park of the EPA reflects their values in this new term right here. And so I think that the huge pile of trees, if we could just douse that in gasoline and make a big-ass bonfire out of it, I think that'll correlate with our current set of values in our government. And frankly, it'd make me feel a little bit more comfortable and a little less like, oh, we're just putting on this front that we really hate the world. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. And I am completely pissed off on the fact that this cuts into my commute. I gotta do the runaround on both of these situations right here because guess what? Betsy DeVos has already sort of struck on UC's campus. That's right, this abomination of an individual in charge of our children's education is all of a sudden dictating rules on the higher education levels, and not, you know, where she's probably going to make us pay out the ass in tuition fees and, well, not give us any funding whatsoever, so that's that kind of argument right there. But I am actually specifically talking about, I guess she is in charge of making sure that we get a better education, or at least in her hearing she mentioned the fact that she wanted to challenge students more. And I guess challenging students is exactly what that fence around the Alumni Center is doing, because it's awfully difficult to get around it, and we're just having to go off into the grass and ruin the hills right there, which they were so beautiful before, but now they're just trampled because, well, you didn't build a sidewalk for anyone to get through right there. So maybe that's DeVos. I don't really know what's going on right there. I don't really know if she has any idea of what to do in her position right there, but that's another thing altogether. It's just ridiculous more than anything else, and then we get this budget coming out that we're not going to fund the arts in any way, shape, or form, and really, that seems to me like political suicide more than anything else. And I'll tell you why. It has to do with the fact that, well, let's think of who is the most, like, crazed individuals in our society right now, you know? The people that truly need an outlet. I'd argue that it's the artists, and if we don't have art to sort of distract us with, we have a tendency to attempt to take over the world. I'm just throwing that out there right now, and, well, maybe Trump is trying to take over the world as well, but not in the way that an artist would really do it at all. We're much more sadistic and clever than that individual. So just advice for everyone out there, fund the arts, because things will get scary if we don't have anything better to do with our lives. Oh boy, we'll take up arms, for certain. Oh boy, it's one of those things where all this drab and dreary details just get so awful from time to time, and it's important to, you know, stay calm, to stay strong, and just keep on dancing throughout all of this. And, well, at least Congress is sort of getting their head out of their ass by, you know, actually starting to investigate the Trump campaign and their collusion with Russia. I mean, it's one of those situations right there where, I mean, it's too, like, there's too much Russian talk about every aspect of him, and the fact that we haven't done a thorough enough job to investigate any of that so far is really, really disgusting. So we're starting to get a push right there, and Comey came out. I don't know why he's still in power of any... He should have stepped down when he sort of wanted to reinvestigate the Hillary emails and brought us into this whole shitty situation to begin with. But now he's got the FBI, and they're going to finally investigate, and so we'll see what happens. And I'm sorry for this rant, but Jesus Christ, this is just getting ridiculous. Alright, if it looks like treason and it smells like treason, it probably is. Let's just think about that right here. And on that note, we actually have a PSA about fires that I would like to get over to, and I guess we'll cut it over to some music after that. Sound good? Awesome. Well, in the meantime...
They say where there's smoke, there's fire.
I can't breathe. Oh, God. There's smoke everywhere.
Did you know 10 out of 10 acts of treason are caused by humans?
Crawl on the floor so I can breathe.
Only you can prevent presidential treachery.
Where'd all this smoke come from?
Stand up. Speak out against treason.